Well, hello, kindergarten through third grade crew. I'm Leah, and this is
Michelle.
And we are so excited that you have decided to come alongside us and help to share Jesus with these kids. And so in the next couple days, you will be receiving an email with a training packet in it. We really would love for you to read through that. It will be super helpful in setting you up for success in all that you do. But we did want to take a few minutes and highlight some things, just important things to point out and things that we wanted to do a little more detail on. So the first thing is check in. Will look a little different. We are going to have clipboards in each room. And the kids will get 2 name tags, and one will go on themselves and one will go on the clipboard. The point of this is so that you have a real-time count of how many kids are in your room at all times. So if there's 8 stickers on the clipboards, then you know there should be 8 kids in your room. You can also use this at drop-off time, and Michelle will talk about some uses for it later. But it's just easier than getting a report at the end of class that lets you know, okay, these are how many kids I have in my room at this time. So it's something new we're trying, and hopefully we find that it's all beneficial.
So as kids are arriving, you are going to want to make sure, first of all, that there are 2 volunteers in the room at all times before kids are actually left in the classrooms or anywhere. Sorry, your kids are getting dropped off in the gym. So you guys are going to start in the gym, and before anybody is left alone without a parent, please make sure both of your volunteers are there. Greet the kids by name. Make sure that you're making them welcome. Set up that that feeling right up front, and so the assistants should be standing at the door to greet families and greet kids, talk to them, and then they can kind of keep going in, or then the kids can go on into the gym, and the leader can start gathering them and circling them up. Okay.
Yeah. Some rules which are really helpful that we encourage you to go over every week. I would encourage you probably to do them before you do the Bible story time, or once everyone's there before you move into the cafeteria to start the main part of the lesson. We have 4 simple rules put up. So if a child has brought something, and a toy or something, we just ask that once class time actually starts, that they put it away in their pocket, at the small group station, at one of the tables, just so that it's not a distraction to them and someone else. Sit up. We encourage them at all times, whether they're on the floor or whether they're at the tables, that they're sitting up. It just shows that they're paying attention. It's respectful. And then look up. We ask them to look at who's talking. So if the teacher's talking, look at them. Show that you're paying attention. If one of your friends is talking, look at them. Show us that you're paying attention. And then zip up. This is pretty simple. If it's not your turn to talk, zip your lips. So put up, zip up, look up, sit up. We try and make them as simple as possible, but just review them each week with the kids so that they're all on the same page. We do a pretty simple discipline system, if you want to call it. The first time they get a warning, just say, hey, remember this is one of our rules and you're not following it, so this is a warning. The second time, feel free to grab the hospitality person or one of us leaders. We'll take them out in the hall, have a conversation with them, pray with them, and say, hey, we know that you can do a better job, so let's try and work on this. And then the third time, if it keeps happening, then we page the parents. And again, we just let hospitality know, hey, I need this number paged. And then we can decide with the parent whether the child needs to step away or whether they can stay in the classroom. But please try and be as consistent as possible in following through with these. Typically a warning is all it takes. But yeah, we want you guys to take ownership of this room and set you up for success. So having some rules in place and some guidelines for what to do when the rules aren't followed, we find is very helpful. So.
All right. So within the guidelines of our lesson, we'll be using the
Kids Spring
curriculum. And so that's going to consist of a circle up small group time to begin with. And so all of the lessons will have specific things that you can say, specific times and all of that for you to follow. Some of that is a little bit flexible, but make it your own and make it comfortable. But I don't want you to feel like you have to make up everything as you go either. So there is going to be some scripted information there. So as Leah was saying, the circle up small group time when people are dropping off is a good time to review the rules, do that kind of, get them started with a little bit of an engaging game. Following that, you will take the kids to the cafeteria to do worship, and worship will be on video on the television and will be hooked in already with a flash drive, so you'll be able to access that fairly quickly and easily, hopefully. Following worship, there will be a teaching time where you can actually offer for third graders to read a passage from the Bible. And the Bibles will be available in the room. And then you will also have the kids watch a video, which is also going to be on the flash drive that goes right along with the passage from the Bible, and it just reiterates the Bible story. Okay. There is also a life skill and a need to know video that will be available on the flash drives for the lessons that they apply to. Finally, you will read the Bible story sheet to them. They will actually be hearing this lesson like 3 different times in 3 different ways. So it's going to sound a little bit repetitive to you, but that's how we want to make sure that these messages stick. Finally, there'll be not finally, but then next after that, there will be a ministry time. It's one of those things that's going to be that we're really trying to push at this point with this launch. We feel like that's one of the big things that we want to have the kids participate in. So make sure that you read through the training manuals, read through the lesson plans. That'll give you a lot more information about that. After ministry time, there will be a small group, kind of a practice, memorize the memory verse, little skit kind of thing that'll happen, and that's all outlined in the lesson. And then finally, you will prepare for pickup by staying together. You can do an organized game, you can play in the gym for a little while, do some free play, or do, preferably not just wild running. We kind of like to keep them kind of contained and organized with the understanding that there still is a service going on in the auditorium. So please make sure that they are, engaged in following something.
There will be we're going to talk about this later, but there will be a binder that has a bunch of different relational games to play with the kids. So if you're like me and it's hard for you to come up with something right off the top of your head, there will be a binder with a bunch of different games that will be great to do in the the gym. Along with, there will be a parachute that you can use to do games also. And then just to touch base a little bit more in detail on the ministry time, one of our goals is to really teach kids about prayer and the power of the Holy Spirit. And so each lesson typically has a topic. Maybe it's talking about courage or honesty or, I don't know. So basically, at the end of each lesson, once you've done the Bible story sheet, we want to offer up time to pray for the kids who this might be an area that they struggle with. So you could just say something simple like, hey, we've been talking a lot about courage this week. And so we want to pray for any of you who, courage is something that, is hard for you. You feel like you're not very courageous a lot of the time. And so really encourage you, have the kids. It may not be very many at the beginning or any at all, but we still want to just push and press in and offer it. So you'll have them raise their hand, and then I encourage not only you as the leaders, but ask the other kids, hey, can you help us pray for these kids? You can ask them if you can lay your hand on them. If not, maybe just hold your hands out towards them, and then just pray for them. After that, we ask that either the leader or the assistant, there are cards in the back, and they're twofold, but if you have a kid that does raise their hand, I would ask that you would fill out a card specifically to that kid to say, hey, so glad that you raised your hand and that we had the opportunity to pray for you. We're praying for you this week that, that you will find opportunities to be courageous or whatever. Make it personal, but just fill it out. Take a quick 30 seconds to do that and then drop it off at the hospitality desk and we'll mail it out. Do use your best judgment if you're finding the same kids each week are raising their hand. We don't necessarily have to send a card every week. But we do want to try and just follow up occasionally with kids and let them know that we are continuing to pray for them and acknowledge that it's something that they asked for help with. Also, these cards, new kids. If we have a new family, we really want you, and if you're not sure if it's a new family because maybe you don't recognize their face, but they could have come before, ask hospitality. They'll be able to let you know. But we want you to fill out a card to the kid. Hey, thanks so much for coming. It was so good to play this game with you or talk to you. I hope your test goes well at school. Do what you can to make it personal. Again, 30 seconds, fill it out, but drop it off at the hospitality, and we'll get that in the card we'll get that in the mail to the child that week. Just let them know that we were grateful that they came and that we hope they had a good time. And kids love getting mail. So, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking. Breeze. So Breeze is the way that we're going to communicate with you, and you are going to communicate with us and the whole crew. So you'll get an email from me asking you to set up your Breeze account. It will have a link. You'll use that. It'll be very detailed in how to set it up and how to utilize it. But basically, once you're in Breeze, you'll be able to find our group, the K-3 group. You will email if you need a sub, if you can't serve and you need somebody to switch with you. Also, any tips or tricks you found with the kids, certain kids, hey, Johnny seems to really respond well when you give him a job to do, or hey, this child does not like reading out loud, don't call on them. Those types of things that help set us all up for success. Utilize Breeze in that way to email out and get people on the same page, and also to find subs.
All right, and finally, some just protocol for emergency possibilities. Hopefully we won't ever have to use them, but if in the event of a fire or storm, we want you to be prepared. Please make sure that in the event of a fire, number one, you're going to be notified by the hospitality team, whoever's doing hospitality, and or the leaders. So do a quick head count first before you actually exit the room, but do that quickly. Grab the clipboard that's in the room. That's going to be really important because that way you have an exact count of who's supposed to be with you, and we have names and parents and all of that right on there. Grab that clipboard, start moving them towards one of the emergency exits. Familiarize yourself with those exits. There are 3 of them that we'll be utilizing: front entrance and the corner of the gym and the auditorium. So whatever you happen to be closest to, depending on where you're at, you're going to want to make sure you get the kids out to the playground area and then do a second head count just to make sure that you have everybody accounted for. Please make sure that you leave room for fire trucks around the parking lot. Don't let kids anywhere near that. And like I said, once you're there, do that second head count. In the case of a storm, you will also be notified by Kids Hospitality or by one of the leaders. Again, do a quick head count. You're going to grab that clipboard again and then move the kids into the juniors room. Okay, so if you have any questions about any of that protocol, please be sure to ask so that you're comfortable and in case of an emergency.
And also just be praying we never have to use it.
Yes, exactly.
Again, thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching this. I know it was kind of long, but again, we want to set you up for success and make you feel as prepared as possible. And getting a team meeting together just wasn't possible. So thanks so much for all you're doing and willing to do, and we look forward to serving with you.
Thanks.